Good afternoon, everybody. It's week 3. It's Thursday, and I'm interrupting your day, your work, to share a few things about week 3 that I probably should have pointed out at the beginning of the week, but life got in the way, and so here I am. I hope this will be helpful to you. First of all, I spent the morning catching up on the discussion about the Fellowship of the Ring, and I have to say I'm really enjoying the conversation, as I have week 1 and week 2. Each time I teach this class and explore this amazing fantasy, which is one of my favorite books and movies ever, through your thoughtful work, new questions, and the questions you raise, I'm once again impressed by both the importance and difficulty of living a life honestly with integrity and vulnerably in a world that seems to affirm other values. Thanks for your good work. Keep it up. I'm really enjoying the conversation. I hope you're appreciating my responses to you. I hope you find them affirming and a little pushy to ask you to think some about what you've said and other aspects to it. But for just a moment, I'd like to back up to Romero, because some of you have wondered about Romero's legacy. And I think that's a really important question. The question of legacy is the question of how will I be remembered? What good have I done? What will people say about me at my funeral or after I'm gone? It's an important question. And as you get older, the question in some ways becomes even more important. So on the one hand, it is as if Romero never existed in El Salvador. Headlines like these still exist on a daily basis. El Salvador is the murder capital of the world, and El Salvador's new president faces gangs, poverty, and instability. Makes you wonder, doesn't it, if he had any lasting impact on anything. I think the impact of saints, and he is a saint. The Catholic Church has canonized him for his work and witness in El Salvador. It's greater later than while they live. But if you'd like to know more about that, I'm going to be posting a URL on Moodle. I'll put it in week 3 to a source for you to explore. It's called Archbishop Romero, A Legacy of Struggle for Social Justice. I also think that the word integrity, which many of you have introduced into all of our discussions, is about doing the right thing regardless of the outcome, regardless of what people may say or what legacy you might have. Choosing to live your life according to what you believe to be true is a good thing in and of itself, regardless of whether it results in your death or in a life of significant good outcomes, or perhaps it results in nothing. Few saints survive without martyrdom. That's a sad fact of our world's history that says more about the world we live in than about the saint, him or herself. Yet I think it shouldn't deter right thinking and living people from their thinking and living. Well, as I noted, we're in the middle of week 3, so let me say a few words about those assignments that some of you are already working on. Before I do, however, I'd like to call your attention to the 2 examples. I sent announcements about these. You should have been notified about these, but I really do want to call your attention to them. The 2 examples of influential thinkers that I posted on week 3. They're from work that was done in week 2, but they're such good examples, and I did it with their permission, that I thought might be helpful to you as you continue on this journey of your life map. And not your life map, but on this journey with influential thinkers. As I said in the announcement, the purpose is not to say you should do your presentations in the same way that these 2 have done it. I just wanted to give you a couple of good examples of presentations that do a very fine job of what really matters in the presentation, and that is the explanation of what they have posted on their presentations about the thinker they chose. In this case, both of the presenters are dealing with Aristotle. It is really important that you post your explanations and other information elaborated in some way in your presentation. These two are both narrated. One is a YouTube and the other is a PowerPoint. Others of you included your explanations in the notes section on PowerPoint. Either way, or any way, is okay, but you must make sure that you're explaining as clearly as possible, as clearly as you can, the reason you are posting what you post. Why? How is this an answer? How does this explain his or influence? Please check those out. Well, as you've already noticed, moving on now, as you've already noticed, there's a shift in the kind of movie we are watching this week. We have moved from focusing on particular real historical persons who find themselves caught up in real, demanding moral questions that cost them their lives, and we moved to The Fellowship of the Ring, a movie based on the great trilogy, The Lord of the Rings, by J.R.R. Tolkien. This is only the first installment of a trilogy, and it may raise more questions than it answers because it's laying the foundation for what is to come. But so it's a kind of surprising shift from reality to myth. But we chose this film because it calls attention to some realities that are more hinted at in the other two movies. Yes, there is a hero in this film. His name is Frodo. But there are also other heroes in the film who join together with Frodo to accomplish a deed of such magnitude that the future depends nearly entirely upon it. It allows us to address some of the questions we've been discussing all along, but from a different perspective. Okay, secondly, we also shift this week from the world of philosophy, that is Plato and Aristotle, the two fathers of Western philosophy, to the twin kingpins, we might say, of biblical theology, Moses and Jesus. Again, I encourage you to read through the directions carefully. This time you're dealing, so to speak, with original texts. You will need to access passages from both the Old Testament and the New Testament. There are links to outside sources that will help you get the bigger picture for both of them. There are some real similarities between the two, but there are some important differences. There's also a personal question that asks you which of the worldviews represented here in Moses and Jesus is closest to your own. And don't forget to explain. Finally, life mapping continues, as does our journey with Anne Lamott, that I'm happy to see all of you seem to be enjoying. This time the focus in life mapping is on relationships. The directions on this are fairly clear, so you'll want to read them carefully. There are also options about how you might present this work. I really encourage you to think about these key persons in your life who, for better and or worse, make a huge difference in how you choose to live. They may be teachers or pastors, parents or siblings, bosses or co-workers, lifelong friends that you formed a connection with that continues to this day, or somebody that you just met the day before yesterday. What this map is identifying and reflecting on the persons in our lives who have the greatest influence on us. Look at the big perspective questions and directions for your reflective essay. These will help you do the important work of self-reflection, which I call the so what questions. I've read and reviewed your life mapping efforts with events from week 1. You are all doing well with this, and I look forward to seeing how your map will further develop in this week and the following week. I hope you are finding this a valuable process in your own journey. Again, remember, over and over, I'm going to say this. You get tired of me saying this. The explanation and the becauses are what matter. What I want to hear, what I need to hear, and what you need to respond to is this person is important in my life because. So we continue the journey. Week 3. Blessings as you go. Bye-bye.